Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving School.
Hello and welcome to Oh When the Town, and here's what's coming up today. Another home fixture for Luton, but it ends in defeat as Swansea City come to town. A great performance from Luton, but unfortunately leave the game empty-handed, a 1-0 defeat. Today we discuss that in more detail, plus should we have had 2 penalty kicks? Nathan Jones seems to think so. And after last week, Team Luke or Team Dave, whatever you were on, today we unite, don't we? We unite.
Team podcast.
Team podcast for today. Great bit of fun last week. We look at Matty Pearson. Was he at fault for that first goal? Has he got a future going forward? Is it time to move on from Matty Pearson at centre-half? We discuss him. We also answer your Instagram questions, your Twitter fleets. And today we are joined by Dave, as you just heard. And Steve's in for Bataro tonight, who... he's got like a plumbing job or so. I have no idea where he's at. But Steve, thanks for joining us.
Sorry, mate. Good to see you both.
Yes, it was a positive performance of the weekend, wasn't it? It just not our day. Not very lucky.
Oh, like I say, I was impressed with our performance. Thought we deserved more from the game. I thought we were very unlucky. We just didn't take the chances and possibly had 2 penalties. But I'm sure we'll go into that.
Yeah.
Definitely not our day. Definitely not our day. Very, very frustrating to see a team perform as well as that and get nothing from it. I think, livid really. But livid because I thought we deserved more than we got.
Well, before we jump into the game, then let's look at some 3-word reviews. How you guys summed up Luton 0, Swansea 1 in 3 words. Marco says, not our day, which we literally just said. Jill, should have won. Jamie says, delighted despite defeat. Ian, best team lost. Sue says, so much better. George says, feel for Potts. Harry says, robbed by officials. Michael can't score goals. And Stouty says, that's a penalty. So...
just about everything we're thinking, isn't it? The best team on the day, I think, lost. I think Swansea weren't that great. So much better. It's nice to say that. It's so much better, much a more solid performance from all around the team, I thought, on Saturday. And I do feel for Potts because he took one hell of a whack, didn't he?
Yeah. And it is, I think in terms of the so much better, it's like, obviously against Norwich last week, and we're not getting into Team Dave, Team Luke again. It was a tough fixture. It was hard to play our way, but, coming in at home at Kenilworth Road, you've got hope, and it was a lot better than, I'd say, that first half against Sheffield Wednesday. It's a lot better than that. It was a lot better than that Cardiff defeat at home. So, realistically, I think performance-wise, against a top team...
The only part of our performance that was poor was the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it. The first 3 minutes. After the manager said
on Sky before the game,
TV, we went up there, we conceded first, and then we really played them off the park for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen today, and exactly the same thing happened. So that's quite sad. So apart from that first 3 minutes, I think we can look forward, and and it's just a little thing, Luke. It's you that keeps talking about Team Dave, Team Luke. I wasn't going to mention it today, but I would say also that our performance warranted a win. It just warranted a win. We played so well.
At least a point.
We deserved at least a point. And, that's kind of, okay. And if we hadn't had the midweek game postponed, we wouldn't be so bothered about it, would we? We'd just move on.
And I think it's one of them games, Steve, isn't it? You look at Swansea, where they are in the table. It is another tough fixture. It's not one you probably expected to win. And I know we don't like to use the term free hit, but realistically, that's not the type of game we're looking at as like as banker, as like this Coventry game. You're looking at that going, yeah, we can get 3 points there.
See, Swansea haven't been playing well recently. They've been lucky to pick up points against Blackburn, and was it Middlesbrough they scored last minute?
Yeah.
They've had
all
few
penalties.
last minute penalties. Exactly. I feel like they were there for the taking. We played really well. I don't know how they're second or third in the league now. I just don't think they played very well. I don't think they're a good team.
They just seem to have something about grinding results out at the moment, or just getting lucky with these penalty calls and stuff. And it's like Nathan Jones said, after seeing their last 4 penalties, and definitely the one against Middlesbrough and the one against Stoke, how we haven't got at least 2 in this game is mad.
Or at least one. I agree with Steve, really. I think Swansea's position is in inverted commas, force in the way that you've seen them play and how they get their thing. But the other side of that is they've got those results. They've got that little bit of luck, and they've taken the opportunity, whether you're playing poor or not. So,
Well, it's what they say. If you need to get promotion from any league is, the main thing is getting results when you're playing poorly. And I think for Swansea to come away with a win against us, they'll be looking at it going, that's the type of result that's going to get us promoted. No matter how we played, that's one just now you forget about it, write it off and move on. But anyway, for us, positive. 5 changes from the Norwich game. Clark, Bree, Pelly, Cornick and Adebayo came in for Craney, Berry, Collins, Ince and Moncur. Obviously, we expected them changes against Norwich, I think, because of the Tuesday night game at Rotherham. It was good to see them all come back into the team with Naismith as a centre-half again. And I thought we looked all right, didn't we? We didn't start too well, but after we did settle down after that goal, we did look all right, playing our passing game.
We create some opportunities. I do like Clark on the pitch at the moment, and we're excited about Adebayo. But yeah, I thought we had an opportunity. Didn't we? We had quite an early opportunity, didn't we? Where
before the goal.
Yeah, I thought we should have scored there. But when I say should have scored, he did well to create the position.
It was the flick that was cleared off the line. It came out to Naismith, and his deflected effort was kind of saved by the keeper. But, early chance, and you're thinking, typical then that you don't take a chance. But
it literally went down the other end and scored,
exactly,
didn't it? It literally went down the other end and scored. And the clearance down, they came down the left, didn't they? And the clearance was just, for me, one of those channel balls, wasn't it? Hit it down the channel, aiming for your attacker up there. And then you've got to ask, what was Matty Pearson thinking? Where was he? However, don't forget, at that point, the heavens had opened, the wind was blowing really strong. It was teeming down with rain.
I was going to say, look, if we look at everything from the weekend of that rain, that wind, Steve, is it harsh for us to blame Matty Pearson for potentially misjudging that? Because I'm watching it right now. I don't know, it just sails over his head, and he's misjudged it. But has he misjudged that because of the weather, or is that us being really digging him out and finding an excuse for him? Should he be winning that?
He should be winning that. He should adapt to that. But then the commentators were playing up on that, weren't they? The wind, the rain, and I suppose unless you're playing in it or we were there, we wouldn't really have known.
I think he was too far. I think he was too far forward, Steve. If I'm honest.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just a small miss, was it? It was way over his head, wasn't it? He was way out of position.
It wasn't close.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't even close to it. He was too far up. He should have been aware of the player on his right hand side as well.
I'm just putting it out there on the wind thing. If you look at the corner flags at the Kenilworth Road end, the wind's against Swansea anyway.
It's against Swansea. So it would hold the ball up more. It would make it higher, maybe. Who knows? But he was definitely out of position, and it was definitely an issue for him at that point.
I don't feel like he was the only one making an error, though. I thought Naismith was quite lazy, quite easy to beat.
It was almost as if once he got over the top of Pearson and around the back, it was like no one else really tried to bail him out. It was still really easy from there to pull that ball back to Hurahan.
When they got in the box, 3 players, not one, 3 players went to cover that near post. And at least one of them should have looked to see what was coming up. They should have looked behind them. They should have seen who was running in. The guy had a free hit, basically, didn't he?
Yeah, and it's cool. I know last week I got slated for saying about talented players, but if you're going to give Conor Hurahan that much space in that much time in the box, he's going to tuck it away.
Any player who's played in that position gets that opportunity, should hit the target and should score.
I would debate on one of our players not doing that, but I'm not going to dig him out.
Let's not go there. But as soon as he played the ball back, you knew they were going to score. The issue for me there is, why did the 3 defenders, 2 I can get, 3? Why not? Why not 1 hang back a bit? Then they close it off, maybe. I don't know. Disappointing, because, with that first chance, you thought, hang on, as Steve said, they were there, we could take them. They didn't provide much after that, did they?
Steve, you played goalkeeper. I don't know if you still play football, mate, but you goalkeeper in your time. Should Sluga do better here? Should he save it, or is it harsh to look at Sluga in this situation?
I think that's harsh to look at Sluga. It was 6-7 yards out with just a run up to go, and if he would have saved it, it would have been what world he saved. But
yeah,
he didn't.
It's because one of our mates in our group chat was watching it live on Sky, and his message going, "I've never seen Sluga. Sluga's always so terrible on Sky, and every time I watch him, he's terrible." And I'm like, you can't be blaming Sluga for that at all. Like, I think Hurahan's kind of mishit it. He's hit it so like Sluga's full on stretch as that's going in like a corner, and it's kind of just gone through him because it's almost like a little mishit. It's not like cleanly struck from Hurahan.
Yeah, I think it's harsh if you're blaming Sluga, and if you've watched him every week, because fortunately we've been able to do that this season every week. He's he develops so much better, hasn't he, as a player and as a goalkeeper. So no, you can't blame him. You've got to blame again. Like I said last week, you've got to take the blame defenders on that one. It started off with a mistake, and then it continued. The mistake continued when 3 people runs the ball and doesn't cover the gap in the middle. So Sluga,
Well, he's just won Diamond Player of the Month as well, and he's won us so many points. He was great against Forest and kept us in it probably against Sheffield Wednesday. So you know what?
No, I agree.
There's no blaming of him, but
you can't. I don't think you can blame the goalkeeper. You can push something on the defence there for misdefending it, but you can't blame the goalkeeper.
Well, let's
we have
move.
a few friends, don't we? Sorry, we have a few friends
that
that don't like Sluga at the moment, or think he's made a few mistakes and he's not very good.
If he wasn't very good,
Steve,
if he wasn't very good, he wouldn't get picked for his national team, would he?
That's what I mean. I just don't get where they're coming from. Like, I know they watch the ones that are on Sky and the ones that are on the
that's
FA
the
Cup
issue,
game.
isn't it? Because it was that Chelsea game where he kind of came for that Abraham header and missed and kicked his goal kick out of play. But that's probably the first game this season where you could look at and go, he's made an error, but still, that's not like
he still made some very good saves.
Yeah, and that weren't even like errors leading. That's not like costing us. Well, it did cost us, but I don't know.
That's the problem, is that you're getting a snapshot. If you're just watching 1 or 2 games, you're getting a snapshot, and the ones on TV, you have to say he has made an error occasionally. However, if you've seen him consistently every game this season, he ain't done bad at all.
We thought we'd equalise. We thought we'd equalise, and Potts headed in. Let's say a great cross from Cornick. We want to see more of that from Harry Cornick. And the linesman's got it bang on now, hasn't he?
Sadly, yes. Sadly, he did get it. It was not even marginal. I think you could clearly see at the time in real gameplay. I was up and I was celebrating. However, when they play it back, you can see obvious offside, and probably the best decision they made all game, really, which is sad.
I tell you what's nice with a disallowed goal is actually knowing it was disallowed for a correct reason, because there's been so many times at Kenilworth Road where we've had a goal disallowed and we haven't had the correct angle to see if it's actually legitimately offside. I think there was that Leeds one we scored. We would have gone 2-1 up at home to Leeds last season, but it was given for offside. There was one where Potts put us 1-0 up against Forest at home last season before we lost 2-1, which no one could see if it was offside. There's been quite a few in there, so it's nice to actually just go, okay, fair play, it was offside.
And it was made without the dreaded VAR as well. I mean, it was obvious, so the linesman was well up with play, so he did a good job.
Pelly had a chance, didn't he? Misplaced pass from Woodman, tried to lob him, did his best. Woodman,
what more could you do there? He had to aim for the goal. He had to go for the goal. He did everything he could. Just as sad that the goalkeeper got back in time. What else could he have done? I don't think anything else.
No, nothing.
He just took the opportunity.
Improvisation to do that.
Yeah, straight away.
Another chance we had. And I feel like this chance, I think you look at this Cornick header from Dewsbury Hall's cross, and he's kind of like glanced at it, and I feel like he should be doing a lot better with that header. And I think that header is actually a really, really good opportunity to score a goal. I don't know what you guys think.
If he gets put on, you say you sort of just glanced the header, didn't he?
Just didn't get that.
He didn't get enough
good contact
purchase on it. Yeah, not enough. Yeah,
he had so much space and time to do it. Like there was no one around him. He just literally had to direct the header powerfully into the on target at least. For me.
From memory, I don't remember too much about it because I was probably drinking. But I would say when you're in that position, there's two things. Sometimes when they don't get a good header on, I think, and he had lots of time. Did he have time to control it? Did he have time to do something different? He's got to put it away from the keeper, hasn't he? Really?
I think he's just got to put it on target. What do you reckon, Steve?
I can't think about that one. I don't remember it. To be
so
honest.
many chances. Well, you smashed as well, mate.
The thing is, it's good that we're talking about chances.
For once, yeah.
For once, at least we've made a few chances this time, and we haven't converted them, obviously. But it's nice that we created more than 1 or 2 or 3 chances in the match. It is brilliant.
Because I'm reading through the running order today and we're not even in the second half yet. And producer Jacob's going chance. And I'm like, oh yeah, we did actually have quite a few chances in that first half. And then we had like 8 minutes added on when Potts was carried off on a stretcher after a collision with Conor Hourihane. Luckily, he seems like he's all okay, Potts, but it was pretty serious collision. We thought he was out cold at one stage.
I think Nathan,
which is a shame because he's been good in
Yeah,
Potts.
I think Nathan said he wasn't out, but from the TV pictures, it looked like he'd taken a right. He was gone, and then he came immediately around. I mean, it was some people are saying deliberate. I don't think so. I don't know. There was a guy leading with his arms. I don't know. But he's at one hell of a clatter, didn't he? I hope he's all right though, isn't he? He's okay.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
So have we heard anything about it? Or
Nothing at the moment, I don't think. But it's a shame because at the moment you look at the defenders we have out, and if it's going to include Potts, and you've got Potts, Lockyer, and Bradley, Bree's like just coming back, but at the moment he's still like, I feel like you don't know if he's fully fit enough to play a full 90. But Potts has been pretty decent, would you say, Steve, so far this season, isn't he?
You can't fault him really. You saw from Saturday, he's very brave in the tackle, and in defence, it's what you want most of the time. He hasn't made any major errors that I can think of. But yeah, I'm happy with it.
And pretty good in the air, Potts. I always like him in the box. You just feel like he's going to, like he did at the weekend,
he can win something.
Pop up with a goal every now and again. But
either a goal or that header where he goes back across goal to get someone else to get it. Yeah, I agree with that. Into
the second half then, Luton pretty much carried on as they did in that first. A few chances, including a free kick Naismith skied. Clark had another glancing header. I think on a counter-attack, we had like 4 on like 3 at one stage, and it was that crossing from the right from Cornick, and Clark maybe could have done better as well with his header. Adebayo had a few sniffs at goal. It just wasn't to be, was it? It just wasn't to be.
The Clark header was so frustrating because it was such a brilliant opportunity. And maybe if he didn't connect, there was someone behind him, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those days, wasn't it? It was absolutely one of those days where doesn't matter what you tried. It was one of those where you're thinking, oh, God, we're not going to get one, are we? That's how I felt. I felt we deserved one.
I'm a big fan of Adebayo, though. For a big guy, he's great with his feet. He's such a presence up top as well. I'm a big fan of him as a player.
I think when you look, I really like Clark. I think Clark's really come on in the last few matches. I wish he'd have just got a better connection with it. Just a little bit more of a connection with that. It's a goal. And then we score that goal, I think we win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. I think, Swansea were on the defence quite a lot, I thought, in that match.
And going back to what you said on Adebayo, Steve, I had work colleagues texting me. Obviously, they were watching the game hoping for Luton to win as well. But one of my colleagues said to me, he was like, why is Collins not playing? Why is this Adebayo playing? He doesn't look good. And I was just sitting there thinking, like, you have no idea. I was like, Adebayo offers us something so much different to Colo. And it's like Collins is that defensive forward. He'll come and link up play and his work rate will be there 100% all the time. Whereas Adebayo's a little bit more positive, isn't he? He seems to be, he gets on that ball in the wide area and he'll do a few step overs and take on a player and drill in across, which I think is what you want, isn't it? And he did it again. I think we tweeted the other day how good his crossing was, and then he went and did a stinker. But he just seems to know where to put the ball in the box.
I think we said in previous weeks, when he was signed, we just got excited by the new blood. And, the new style that he plays for us, it just feels like a breath of fresh air.
And something we've been missing.
Yeah, let's not put Collins down, as we said last week. Let's not put him down.
No, not at all.
Adebayo is what we want to see up front. It's exciting. Why not? That's what we want to see, an exciting player who's got bags and bags of potential. Bags.
Yeah, he missed a few chances, but that'll come.
Hey, listen, he's jumped up a couple of leagues. What do you expect?
Exactly.
He's jumped up a couple of leagues.
That.
You know what? We keep hold of him, he's going to be really well for us.
And I'd say the chances he had at the weekend, they weren't like full-on expected goal-scoring opportunities. They were half chances that,
I think this header towards the end of the game, I think, that one for me was disappointing. I didn't think he got a lot of power on it, but apart from that, I can't fault the guy. So, carry on.
And Steve...
he has a good mentor as well, doesn't he? Mickey Artford.
Oh, you can't go wrong with that. Mickey Artford coached you into your striking role at 21, 22?
If ever there was a Luton legend,
yeah,
that is one.
Steve, was it a penalty in Adebayo then? Because I'm at first thought I was like penalty, And then a second thought, I was like, I still think it's a penalty.
The first time I saw it, because I was watching the rugby alongside it, and I was like, that wouldn't look out of place in the rugby I was watching.
Yeah.
But then I saw the replay, and I'm like, well, did he get head to it before he clattered into it?
Bullshit. I would say, Steve, and this is me just being controversial yet again. If you did that, if you was attacking and you jumped into the goalkeeper like that, it would be a free kick to the goalkeeper. If you challenged the goalkeeper in that fashion, it's a free kick. There is no way on this earth that wasn't a penalty. He took him right out. Whether he got the ball or not, he took him out. 100% took him out. Adebayo was about
he got the ball before he got the
Adebayo
before he had contact.
No, Adebayo was about to chest that ball down. It was on his chest. He was about to chest it down, and the guy just knocked him out.
Did he get the ball? Because I don't even think he did get the ball, did he?
Well, Sky said he got the ball because they had to cover up, the bad refereeing decision. I'm telling you, if the other way round, if you're going into the defender there, that is a free kick. 100%, the referee blows the whistle, it's a free kick. If you're challenging the goalkeeper, that's a free kick. So why isn't it a penalty? That's what I would say. Why isn't it a penalty? I think...
and it's like we touched on at the start as well. You look at the penalty Swansea have been given in the last 4 games, especially that one against Stoke, I thought was disgraceful from the referees. You look at them and then look at that, what happens at Adebayo, and you just think, how is
that not given?
How is that not given? But
we haven't even mentioned the handball.
No, well, we didn't mention handball, which I thought was a bit 50-50, but...
No, because in the Premier League, that's given.
Yeah, probably
That's given as a penalty. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt. That's VAR and it's penalty. I don't want VAR. I hate VAR, but, maybe we could have benefited from it the weekend. For me, the second one was a stonewall 100% penalty. # Team Dave.
I'm not against you. It's Timo went to town now for this one. We're not against each other today. So yeah, 1-0 defeat in the end. It's a result that keeps. We're still in a good position. We've got Coventry coming up on Tuesday night, so it's another big game. And this is probably one that, if we play like we did on Saturday,
look, we need a couple more wins.
We can do.
We need a couple more wins, and we need to put in a performance for our own confidence to get a result against Coventry, and there's no reason why we can't.
God, it's getting up that fixture list. A month, isn't it, nearly, until the Watford game.
I don't want to talk about that yet.
Nah.
I literally,
we'll
I don't want to talk about that because I can't go.
Let's look
We'll have them this time.
Mate, if we have them and dent their automatic promotion hopes, that's...
podcast special.
Yeah, 100%. If we beat him on that Saturday, we should just do a podcast instantly.
And a phone in.
Absolutely.
And a phone in.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yes.
We're doing
Whilst getting drunk.
Yep.
In the sun, having a barbecue.
Right.
Yes. There you go.
Sounds
Fingers crossed. Let's look at Matty Pearson today. He's our player focus. And we wanted to focus him after that first goal. A lot of fans were questioning his positioning. We asked, was he at fault for the Swansea goal? JP says, perhaps I'm being a bit generous, but I watched it a few times and it looked to me as if a gust of wind carried the long pass over his head after he'd set himself to head it away. So maybe a bit unlucky, but hard to tell. Naismith has been very good at centre-half, and I want to try him at centre-back alongside Lockyer as soon as he's back. I think if you do look at the corner flags, can I say that? Look at the corner flags, the wind's going in the other direction, so there's no way the wind could have taken it over his head.
Could have held it up, though.
If it holds it up, then his positioning's just bad because it's still gone over his head.
He misjudged it. We've already said that. He's misjudged that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's at fault for the goal. Him and Naismith.
When Lockyer is fit, Stephen Dave, does Pearson get in that back four?
Oh, tough one. I'm on Lockyer's form.
And Bradley, I guess.
On Lockyer's form before he left the team, injury, no.
For me,
if he gets in the back four, he doesn't get in it. Where does he go?
I think he goes right back. I said earlier on in the season, he was class when he played there.
Which is exactly the position where Pearson made the mistake Saturday.
Well, that's what it probably is. But I'd have him at right back. If I wouldn't have him at centre back, I'd have Lockyer and I'd still have Bradley. I wouldn't put Naismith there. I
quite like Pearson. I don't dislike him. I just think, I think you're as good as your last game sometimes. And, he let's be fair, he created a couple of opportunities himself in that in the game on Saturday. And in the past, he's played quite well. So, But if Lockyer comes in, I think Lockyer starts before Pearson if there's only one place available.
We've seen a few different back 4 or 5s recently, haven't we? So if say like your ultimate back 5 at the moment, well, not at the moment, if everyone's fit, your ultimate back 5, would you agree with this? So I'm going to say if you had a left wing back Naismith, centre halves, I would go Potts, Bradley, Lockyer, and then Bree right wing back. And in that way, there's no place for Pearson in my back 5. He doesn't even make my back 5, Pearson.
Oh, wow.
Agree with that? Do you question my back 5?
Well, I could question it, but I'm not going to.
I guess the only other thing you could do is put Potts where Naismith would be, and then put Pearson in for Naismith. But
you see, the thing with Naismith is when he's had a couple of games where he's absolutely had stinkers, and I just thought, he's not what he was. But the last couple of games, he's been all right. What is his best position?
I don't know. He's played in nearly all of them.
But you would you started left back, did you say?
Naismith, yeah, left wing back.
Wow. Well, I'm not going to argue with you.
No, Steve, what do you think?
Like I say, I put Pearson right back. I'm a big fan of him at right back.
Even in a back 5,
back.
get him up and down that wing.
He's not quick enough to go up and down the wing, is he? He's not.
I'd have him there. Give him a go.
No, but he's not your typical I'm going to sprint down the line guy, is he? Let's
but
be
you could
fair.
say the same about Craney. Like he's played wing back a few times, hasn't he? On the right side of the defence.
Yeah, I don't like Craney at right wing back.
Difficult. It's a difficult one, isn't it? If we was all managers, we'd all pick a different team for definite.
This is what some of you guys said then. Big E says, yeah, I think Pearson's positioning for the goal wasn't that good, but I'm more interested in how long we put up with Harry Cornick being such an advanced attacking player that cannot score with only 4 assists and no goals this season. It's just his pace. He's got to contribute more, surely. We didn't even touch on Cornick in the game. I thought we didn't look as good when he went off the pitch, by the way. It's just not happening for him this season, is it, Cornick? It's just not happening for him for whatever reason.
And, you can talk about assists all day long, but if your attackers are not getting to the right positions, you're not going to score, are you? So, I think
I don't know how long we can keep saying that, though, because it's not like the attackers aren't in the correct positions if Cornick's not finding them.
No, I know that Cornick's, had a few games where he's put in some poor crosses or he's made the wrong decision, and there's been seasons past where we're going, if it's hit that ball across the goal, it goes in, all that sort of stuff. But you can't doubt his commitment and he is fast, and obviously we've got that incredible long throw.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like we're more of a threat when he's on the pitch.
Listen, I understand what the man's saying there. I understand what he's saying. I think, but who do you put on? Take him away. Who do you put on in his place?
Ince, Clark.
Well, I thought Ince played well the other week. I thought, we should give him another start. It's difficult, isn't it? Because obviously, we talked about trust with Andy, and when you talk about trust, Matt Cornick's got the manager's trust, hasn't he?
Yeah, just needs to start.
So he just needs to perform a little bit better and get a goal or get 3 or 4 assists in a game, and we'll be happy. 3 or 4 in a game, we'll be ecstatic, actually.
Oh, if he gets 3 goals and 4 assists in a game, let's hope it's against Watford, but that'd be brilliant. Oliver says Pearson misjudged it because it was clearly windy. A bit unlucky, but the defending after that was shocking. No one closed down Hurahan. They just stood on the line. Personally, if we play with 2 centre-backs, it should be Naismith and Lockyer. Interesting.
See, I exactly what I said. All the 3 defenders ran towards the ball. Nobody looked at where the other dangers were in that box. And there was no one covering, so he had a free hit. So I sort of agree with that.
I just feel like we can't bail Pearson out of a mistake because of the wind. I feel like as a professional footballer, going out onto the pitch forever, how long you're out there warming up for, you know the conditions. If it's going to be windy...
He moved towards the ball when it was kicked, right? From what you just showed me there, he moved towards the ball. He should have been retreating then. And once it was over his head, there was never going to get to it. No. Never. And that's the reason why you can't start him at wing back, because he's not quick enough.
A lot of people want to see Naismith stay in the centre-half spot with Lockyer if he comes back. Luton Town Exile says if we go with a 4, I can see Lockyer and Naismith starting. Matty was at fault for the goal. Unless the wind gusted so much in that moment, then it was a one-off. Philip says...
Why is everyone dropping Bradley? What's he done to deserve this?
Yeah.
If Pissarro's there, would be kicking off.
Oh, he'd be sticking up. Philip, to be fair, said, for me, Lockyer and Bradley is our best combination, but I think Naismith is going to be difficult to leave out if he carries on playing like he is now. Pearson is an old school defender, great stopper, but his distribution is poor. He resorts to hoofing forward too often, which is my problem with Pearson.
Every time he gets it, that's exactly what you say. Watch him knock it long now, and that's what he does.
Or hoof out for a throw-in. He does it so often. I'm just kind of used to it.
In the lower leagues, you'd accept that, right?
What, him booing out for a throw-in?
No, sometimes you have to clear your lines.
Look, if we're 1-0 up against Watford in the 94th minute and he boots out for a throw-in and it waits
he gets
30
man
seconds,
of the match.
I will.
Why do you keep mentioning this Watford game? Stop it.
It's a big one, isn't it?
No, stop it. It's way away yet. I don't want to think about that one yet. I sort of agree with, I think Lockyer and Bradley would be a good combination. But like I said, Naismith, when he started in the team, I didn't think he performed that well. And then I was thinking, well, we bought this guy. But recently, he's had a better performance.
He stepped up, innit?
Yeah, he stepped up a lot, yeah.
Richard says, I think Naismith plays alongside Lockyer, right? He's been our best centre-half in the last few games. At first, I thought it was the win for Pearson's goal, but he should have read it better. The goal gave the second best defence in the league something to hang on to and put us on the back foot from the off.
True.
True.
I think, we've already said he was out of position, sadly. But that's not the only part of his game, though, was it, on Saturday? I think it's a bit unfair just to concentrate on that one piece. If you're having a player focus on him, he did make a mistake, but he didn't play too badly the rest of the game. But that mistake cost us the game.
Yeah, which is the one everyone remembers, unfortunately.
Of course.
Unfortunately for us, not what we wanted, but good performance, and let's hope we can get.
Well, listen,
more
we can build from that. Surely we can build from that performance. We deserved more than we get. Do you know, sometimes, and this is what I said, and I don't want to get into a big conversation about it, but this is about what I said last week. Your luck has to change at some point. You have to take opportunities. At some point, that luck will change. And it wasn't against Norwich, and it's not against Swansea. And don't forget, we played the top team and the team that are second in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. So let's move on. Let's get our points totaled up. Let's stay in division. Let's regroup for next season.
Let's get into some Twitter and Instagram questions today. Steve, we'll start with this one for you. And we spoke about this in the group chat the other day, and mainly because Matty Taylor said on Sky about Luton overachieving, and we put this in the chat about, discuss, are we overachieving? So Tom says, have we overachieved this season?
I think we're exactly where we should be. I think the mid-table, you can't complain. Like, everyone's happy with avoid relegation, but I think we're exactly where we should be.
To be fair to Matty Taylor as well, he said if Luton win this and go into the top half, he said, I think if Luton finish in the top half, that'd be overachieving. Realistically, can you argue with that?
There was a lot of, not just Matty Taylor, I don't know who I can't remember the other pundit, and the guy that was introducing the show, and the commentators punching above your weight, overachieving. Well, actually, do you know what? I think we're doing all right. Well, if they have to clarify that a bit more. If they clarified that with one of the smallest budgets in the league, and things like that. But, overachieving. What, if we get promoted, we're overachieving. If we get into playoffs, we're overachieving. We stay up, we're overachieving. What? Should we not be in this league then? I just disappoint me. I mean, I think we deserve to be where we are. I think we've done.
I don't think overachieving's like, if they say. I don't think that's like a dig at the club or anything. Well, you're saying we deserve to be. Yeah, we do deserve to be where we are.
But if they say we're overachieving, they're saying we shouldn't be as high as we are in the table.
We're doing better than we were expected to be doing.
Why? Teams like Luton, hashtag. That's what that is.
Because of budget.
Well, yeah, because of budget. If you're overachieving...
Sorry, just to interrupt, but you look at some of the teams below us and the budgets they have, would you say they're underachieving?
Well, I wouldn't use the word underachieving. I would say they're crap. They've not been playing well. They're not underachieving. They're just not getting their results.
No, but players that, clubs with that much money, on paper should be doing better than Luton. No? Am I going to get battered on Twitter for that as well this week?
No, I'm not even going to go there. I just think, we have this hashtag teams like Luton, right? Everybody thinks, little Luton, they shouldn't be doing what they're doing, right? As a supporter, I think we're where we should be. I think we deserve to be in the championship. I don't think we're overachieving. I think this is where we are. And this is where we are now. And we've been better than this.
Mid-table team.
Well, this season, yeah. But I got really. I actually did text in my group as well. I got really angry with them. Overachieve. They were very pro Swansea. The commentary team, very pro Swansea. Little Luton. That's how I got it. I got offended by that, and I don't get offended by much.
Let's not forget that every single Luton fan would have bitten your hand off to finish 21st this season as well.
Look, we've said it's about consolidation, staying in the division, and then moving on.
And just on the teams below us, Forest, Huddersfield, Derby, Birmingham, Sheffield Wednesday, maybe even Coventry, but you'd say some of them play. The Huddersfield were in the Premier League a few years ago. They've all got big players which aren't stepping up this season. But I think 16th, I think anywhere between 12th and 17th
I
is what I'd expect
I just
this
don't
season.
like the phrase overachieving. It sort of, for me, it's a little bit belittling. I don't know. It's not a compliment. It's a backhanded compliment if it's anything. But for me, it's,
See, I don't think it is. I don't think it's an insult, I just think it's a statement. It's just fact.
yeah.
I
Well,
think
I'm not going to argue.
last
Luke.
year
we know what's going to happen if we argue.
Sorry, Steve.
Sorry, obviously we saved from relegation last year on the last game of the season, as Sky keep reminding us. But we're building this year. I feel like it's been a good year. We're where we should be. What did you say, 16th at the moment?
16th at the moment with a game in hand over pretty much everyone above us. So we could go up to 13th if we win that game in hand, but that's not till the end of April now. So
We're 12 points off relegation, aren't we? Or
Just a
something
quick,
like that.
yeah, I agree with Steve. Yeah, we are, and I think we're sort of relatively comfortable. But just a question: are Barnsley overachieving right now?
yeah,
Are
That's
they?
big time.
Will their fans say that? No, their fans are saying, "Oh my God, we're going to go to the playoffs. We're going to get a chance."
so
to
I would like, without going to Team Dave and Team Luke
no, let's
arguments
not do
again,
it. Let's not do it.
I'm just going to ask.
You keep mentioning it though.
If Barnsley aren't overachieving, why would you say Barnsley aren't overachieving?
Did Leicester overachieve when they won the Premier League?
Yes.
Why? They were the best team in the league.
Yeah, I get that, but they still Leicester wouldn't have expected to win the league that season.
Where are they this season?
They're second.
Right, there you go. So are they overachieving this season?
They're good. Leicester are that good now.
Well, they were good when they won the Premier League, mate. So there's my thing. As a fan, as a Luton fan, I think we're doing all right. I don't look at Luton and go we're overachieving. I think we're doing what we can do.
Just to point out, neither do I at the moment because we're 16th, and I feel like that is where we could be.
It's team podcast, isn't it?
Team podcast.
Exactly.
And Steve, you're saying no to overachieving as well.
No, not overachieving. We're where we deserve to be from the performances we've had.
See, I like this. It's a nice debate. I want to get Twitter involved with this. Are we overachieving? Do you believe in overachieving? Are you Team Dave with believing?
Don't start that again. Listen, don't start that again. Look, last week, I believed in what I was saying, and this is why we do this podcast. It's about talking about your own feelings and about talking about the football club that you love and you've supported for all your life. So for me personally, because I've seen Luton in this position before, I think we're not overachieving. I think we found our place, and this is where we are. We can push on from this, and if we get promoted, are Luton overachieving then because we haven't got a good budget? Why? No, because they're doing well. It's not. It's not. It's about ambition, isn't it?
I need to think of like a really good
No, don't even
analogy, but I ain't got time. I need to move on.
You can tell me later.
Okay. Jack says, "Is Coventry a must win?"
Oh, I'd say the two words:
No.
must and win.
No.
No, not a must win. Be nice to win.
Yes,
But every game's nice to win.
just to
But
be
it's not a
paid.
must win.
No, look, we expect to beat Coventry, don't we?
Yeah, teams like Coventry.
No, not teams like Coventry. We expect form would say that we've got a good chance of making the win, and if we win, it relaxes us all again, doesn't it?
Daniel says, "When's Ricky Hill coming on the podcast?"
Come on, Ricky, we want you on the podcast. You've been on the others, so come on ours.
Didn't Jacob ask him today
Yeah.
on Twitter?
Do you know what? Right, I worked with Ricky Hill
He
about
promised.
a year and a half ago, and he told me he was writing a book because I said, "Can you come on Owen to town?" And he was like, "Luke, at the moment, I'm not doing podcasts. I'm writing a book." He didn't want any of his stories to come out before the book came out, and I was like, "That's fine, Ricky. Still waiting for you, mate. Whenever you're ready."
Give him a call, Rick. Give him a call, Rick. Come on, we want to go on. We want to go on.
And finally, Will says, "How many points are we going to get out of the next three? Coventry home, Preston away, Derby away. 4. We
6.
happy with 4 points from that?
6,
5.
5.
5,
So,
4, 5, or 6, I think.
well, 3 at least, please.
Yeah.
I think out of those 2 away games, I'm wondering whether Derby or Preston would be the worst.
Derby haven't even improved that much under Rooney, have they?
They had a run, didn't they, where they had a few wins, but they haven't shot up the table. I think what we need to do is just think how many points that we need to be safe. And 51.
I'd lose the next 3 if it meant beating Watford.
That's a big call.
Well,
if we lose the next 3 and it guaranteed a Watford win, you'd go, yeah,
I'd
sure.
take it. Does that guarantee our safety still?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll have that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. You keep mentioning the Watford game, but
I want to hype it up. It's going to be massive.
I don't want to talk about it.
We'll get into it eventually. But that's all we got time for today. Get in touch with us on socials. We want to hear your debate on overachieving. Would Luton be overachieving if they're in the top half?
Do me a favour, Luke. Don't start all this arguments again.
Just a healthy debate, and I like people getting involved.
Team Dave won last week by Salino.
Yeah, well, I feel like my points last week.
I got called grumpy. I got called grumpy last week. It's because I wasn't drinking, but I've been drinking this week, so it's fine.
All right, well, massive game against Coventry. Going to be a good one. And Preston at the weekend, so we'll be back next week to discuss everything before the international break.
What?
International break coming up, isn't it? So,
you're kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's, that saved me 20 quid, wouldn't it?
Thanks so much for listening today. You can get us on YouTube as well. When the Town. Rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Subscribe.
Like and subscribe, and we shall see you next week.
Bye.